So in this video, we're talking about keyboard shortcuts inside of DaVinci Resolve. So maybe you're new to Resolve, you're a little bit confused about how keyboard shortcuts work, and you really have no idea what you're doing. Well, luckily for you, I put together this video of my favorite keyboard shortcuts that I've been using over the past 2 years to help me edit every single one of my travel videos. And I've kind of arranged these keyboard shortcuts so I can be editing the most quickly and efficient way possible so that I can get the most work done. So we're not gonna waste any time here. We're gonna jump straight into DaVinci Resolve. And so what you're gonna do, once you have Resolve opened, you're gonna come up to this top left corner, DaVinci Resolve, and you're gonna hit Keyboard Customization. So this window is gonna pop up. It looks a little bit confusing to start, but trust me, it is super simple. You can put any of these shortcuts on any one of these letters or numbers, but these are the ones that I have chosen just because they work the best for me. So jumping into number one, this one is going to be called Zoom In. So what you're going to do is type in Zoom In, and all of these options are going to pop up. You're going to click on the one that says Zoom. So you hit this little arrow and boom, there you have it, Zoom In. So you're going to come over and hit on this little plus symbol, and you can put whatever letter or number you would like. For me, I have one selected just because it's on the left side of the keyboard and I use Zoom In a lot. So if it's selected for something else, say it says M here or U or something like this, you're going to hit X, and that's going to clear the last shortcut you have, and then you're going to name it whatever you want. So again, I like it as number one, and then you hit save. So boom, what does this do? So I'm hitting one right now. You're just zooming in on your timeline. That's simple. It helps you navigate your timeline so you can zoom in and zoom out very quickly. So we're gonna go back into the keyboard shortcut, and our second one is obviously going to be zoom out. So you're gonna hit this again, boom, zoom out. I have that for number two. Like I said, you can assign it to anything, but 1 and 2 right beside each other, super easy to use. Now moving on to the third keyboard shortcut. This shortcut is going to be called snapping. So you're gonna write snapping in here. I have it assigned as 3. If it's something else, delete it. So what 3 does is if you have a clip, say right here, you can move it freely. It's not magnetized to anything, but as soon as you hit 3, it's going to snap over to whatever clip you want it to connect to. So this just makes it super easy to put a clip beside another clip, because if you have it off, it's kind of hard to line up exactly. 3, boom, just snaps right to it. I use 3 a lot just because I like scrubbing through without the snapping on because it's nice and smooth. But as soon as I find a clip that I want to change position of, boom, 3, it snaps right into place. So we're gonna jump back up to DaVinci Resolve Keyboard Customization. Our next keyboard shortcut is going to be called Enable. So it's called Enable Clip right here. I have it set to number 5. Like I said, put it to whatever number you want. But yeah, for number 5, it's the best for me because say I'm editing, I have the talking head underneath and then I have all my clips on top. And say I just wanted to see what this looks like without this clip on top, I can simply hit number 5 and boom, it's gone. It's not gone, it's still there, but it's turned off, I guess you call it. Say I don't like the look of that, I can put it back on, boom, simple as that. So that's just a super easy way to turn on and off clips without deleting them, so you can always have them there. So for the next keyboard shortcut, it is called Start to Playhead. And it's going to be under this ripple sign here. So what Start to Playhead does, and yes, I have it assigned as Q, and actually I'll go over the next one so I can show you what it both does. The other one is going to be called End to Playhead. And again, it's under ripple. And this one's called End to Playhead, and I have it assigned as W. So Q and W. So what Q and W do, if you're spotting your footage and you're going through all your footage, instead of having to cut it, click on this, delete it, there's a very simple and easier way to do that. So say if you want to cut this clip right here, but you want to delete everything to the left of the playhead, all you simply do is hit Q, and boom, that deletes everything to the left of the playhead, okay? Which is just super fast, and it snaps it all back. So say you're over here, I don't like this beginning part, you're looking through it, I don't like that beginning, but I like everything after that. Boom, you hit Q, it's gonna snap it back for you. And W does the opposite. So if you like the stuff on the left of the playhead, but you want to delete the stuff on the right of the playhead, W is gonna do that for you. So it cuts it, and it deletes it, and it snaps it back for you all really quickly. That's just gonna speed up your workflow when you're cutting and going through your footage. Our next keyboard shortcut now is gonna be called Change Clip Speed. I have mine assigned for R. choose whatever you like. This one I use a lot. So yeah, you have your clip selected, you hit R, this little screen pops up, speed, frames per second, duration. The only thing I really touch here is the speed. So if I've shot something in 60 frames per second and I want to slow it down, you're going to be slowing it down to 40%. What does this do? That just makes your clip that was real-time speed, now it's going to be in slow motion. So that's just a super easy way to hit R, boom, change the clip speed to whatever you want it. Boom, 40%, now you're in slow motion. So yeah, you can hit reverse speed, and that's just going to obviously reverse your clip, which I use not so often, but sometimes I like a clip when it's in reverse. Jumping up to our next keyboard shortcut now, this one is going to be called Delete Gaps. I have it assigned for Y. What delete gaps does is, say you've spotted a bunch of your footage. So I've taken all these are my favorite clips. I'm gonna put them over to the side. So instead of going through and deleting each gap bit by bit, which is gonna take you a very long time, what you can actually do is select all the clips that you've spotted and boom, hit Y, and that's gonna delete all the gaps. So it's just way quicker and faster, and you can stay way more organized instead of having to go and delete each gap bit by bit. The next keyboard shortcuts are going to be called Mark In and Mark Out. And I have Mark In for I and Mark Out for O. Simply all this does, say you want to export this little bit of your timeline and you don't want to export the whole thing. I come in, I use snapping to get it to the beginning of the timeline. You hit I, that's going to create an in point. And say you want to export this whole little sequence right here. So you have your in point selected, boom, you have your out point selected, I just hit O. So now when you come down to export, whatever you export, it's just gonna be in between that in and out range. So that just makes it super easy to take a small piece of your timeline and export exactly what you want it to be. And here's another tip to remove this in point and out point. You see what happens here when I click an in point and kind of the rest of the timeline goes dark? Super annoying, and for the longest time I couldn't figure out how to get rid of these in points. All you simply have to do is hold Option and press I or O, and that's going to delete the rest of the in and out points so that your timeline looks normal again. Moving on to our next keyboard shortcuts, we're going to type in swap clips towards left. Now I don't really know what this thing is called, but all you have to know is swap clips towards left and swap clips towards right. I have it assigned as these little things. Again, I don't know what they're called, but it's just above the enter on the right side of the keyboard. What this does is, say you want to change the order of these clips. Instead of popping this one up, moving this one over, moving this one down, that's going to become annoying. What you can do, say I want to swap this one and this one, you're going to use your keyboard shortcut that I just taught you and hit it to the right, and look what happens. These two swap automatically. You don't have to lift it up, put this one over, bring this one down. It's super simple, boom, switches it. You can even keep going with it. So say you want to swap it 5 or 6 places, you can just keep going. So that's super handy and super quick when you want to switch the organization of your clips. Moving on to the next keyboard shortcut. This one is going to be called Timeline Start, and I have that assigned as S. So all that simply does, you hit S, the playhead goes to the start of your timeline. So say you're halfway in an edit, you're zoomed in here, oh, I want to see what the whole, I want to see what the video looks like now. Boom, hit start and play, and there you go. So our next keyboard shortcut is going to be called Delete Selected, and this one's going to be under the Edit Timeline Delete Selected. There's a lot of Delete Selected, but yeah, just come down to the Edit Timeline one, and I have that one assigned as F. And all that is the exact same as backspace, but because I don't like changing my right hand all the way up to the backspace, I like keeping my left hand right where it is. So say if I've cut this clip, I want to get rid of this section. Instead of going up and hitting delete with my right hand, boom, I just hit F with my left hand. That allows me to not have to move my hands around too much when I'm editing, and it just makes it way quicker. Our next keyboard shortcut now is called Link Clips, and I have that one assigned as G. And what that's going to do is enable you to link or unlink your clips. Now, what does that mean? So say here you have your visuals and your audio. Obviously, when you click on the clip, see how they both get selected? That means they're linked. If you want to unlink them, you hit G, and now you can see just the visuals now are selected. Now, when do I use this? Say if you have your audio and your visuals selected, you can hit G, and basically what that does is unlink the clips. So say if you want to delete the audio, that's a good way to do it. Unlink them and then just delete. If you want to move the visuals without the audio, that's another good way to do it. So yeah, it's just a really simple, quick way to unlink or link clips together. This one's not really a shortcut. This is just a nice thing to know inside of DaVinci Resolve. If you hold Option and click on a clip and drag it over, that's gonna immediately duplicate that clip, which is super handy. Instead of going, copy and then pasting it again, this is a super easy, just hold Option, boom, you have the exact same clip now 2 times. Another one that is not a shortcut but is quite handy, if you hold Shift and scroll on your mouse track or pad, this is gonna make your timeline super big so you can see exactly what you're doing. I use this most times just for my audio levels. Yeah, so I can see the waveform way bigger, and yeah, that really helps me when I'm trying to cut the audio to the waveform. So yeah, just keep in mind, hold Shift and scroll up or down. And it just makes it easier to also move stuff around instead of it being, you know, big like this and you can't really see what you're doing. And last but not least, the most easy, simple one, and it's not really a keyboard shortcut either, but obviously when you hit the spacebar, that's going to play your timeline. Simple as that. So I think that covers most of the keyboard shortcuts that I use inside of DaVinci Resolve. Like I said, I use these shortcuts to edit all of my travel films. And yeah, if I missed any, make sure to write them in the comments, because I'm always down to learn more about DaVinci Resolve, and anything that can speed up my workflow, I'm super down for. So I hope this video helped you achieve a quicker workflow inside of DaVinci Resolve. If you learn these keyboard shortcuts, it definitely should speed up your workflow and make you a much quicker and more efficient video editor. So thank you very much for watching, and remember to have a day off.